Good morning, Captain. Well, good morning to you. Do you need another mule Skinner down on your new mud run? Hey, hey, hey.
Well, I'm an old mule Skinner.
Tell you what, down from old Kentucky, boy, and I can make any.
Well, let's see how far Pete's got going on this 33. How's it going?
Okay, what we've done, put that in there, is we took our rear section panel off, we got it ready to fiberglass, we got the piece cut out. Jeff was nice enough to go ahead and finish that so we could fiberglass it in. Now the owner did mess the fender up. Luckily this fiberglass car has bolt-on fenders, so we'll only have to refinish this one fender. So what you want to do is remove all your hardware, all your lights, and then get it ready for preparation. Now on a fiberglass car, you want to stay away from air tools. You want to do all the hand body work that you can. Using an air DA sander or an air file, what that's going to do is it's going to put dips in the fiberglass, and it's going to make imperfections where you'll have to come back and do body work to it, and we're trying to stay away from that. What I do is I take some 80 grit sandpaper, because this doesn't have no stress cracks. I've already checked it out. All it's got is minor chip, some deep scratch chips. And what we're going to do is we're going to feather those out. Now, I've also put a piece of tape along my body reveal line to let me know where the reveal line is. We don't want to sand that and mess that up, because then we'll have to come back and that'll be extra work. So what you want to do is always use a block. Don't use your hand. The reason you use a block, if you sand with your hand, like so, what you're doing is you're making grooves with your fingers. So I use a nice flexible 3M block. You can buy it at your local paint store. They cost $1.69, $1.70 for small jobs like this. And we want this surface roughed up good so the primer will stick, but we also want to feather out those edges. What we're going to do is you take your 80 grit first and you just sand it down. And if you look as I'm sanding, you'll see that the chip is starting to disappear in the imperfections. And try to keep it contained to the smallest area possible. Once you get it to where it starts feathering out on you, you go ahead and you change it out to 180. 180 DA sandpaper, or just 180 dry. You don't want to use any wet sandpaper on this yet. That's when we get ready to paint it right after we prime it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of all the deep scratches we made with our 80 grit. And we're also going to make a little bit of a bigger area so when we tape it off, we can feather the primer out and it won't leave a sharp line for us to have to actually go through the paint. Because we want everything to be feathered out nice and smooth, so when we repaint our fender, you won't even know that this was repaired. See, that's what's good for the tape there, see? That's why I put tape on it, because I don't want to have to sand that reveal line. I make a nice, good, even square image of it. And that is ready for primer. What I'll do is I'll tape this off, but I'm going to actually tape it where I'm covering this, then fold the paper back. What that's going to do is going to give me a nice soft edge all the way around. So when I block sand it out, it will be easy to feather. So this is ready for primer. Let's go see how our piece is looking and get that fiberglassed in. And if the cameraman Jeff wants to follow me, we'll go look at that. Cap off what we did here, if you looked in the pictures, we went ahead and removed the cracked, imperfected piece that the owner wrecked. We're going to go ahead and throw that in the trash. We don't need that anymore. We took some scrap fiberglass material, scrap piece, and we went ahead and cut a piece out to fit in there. Now, what we got to do, okay, is we got to fiberglass this piece into here. And as you see, we need to trim it up a little bit. We want that to fit nice and smooth. But also, on the other hand, we used a thinner piece of fiberglass than the actual thickness of this. That's because what I did is I went ahead and beveled all these edges where they were down. Once this is fiberglassed in there, this is actually going to sit lower. So we'll come back and fill this in, and it'll all feather out. And if the owner ever bumps into anything again, that won't crack out and leave a sharp square line on it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get that fiberglassed in there, and we'll fill that in. We'll get all our stress cracks fixed. And I noticed it says here money's gone.
Definitely now.
It sure is now, because I hate to tell you, this is going to cost him a little bit of a fortune to fix this accident. And I believe his wife ain't too happy about that, sir. Okay, I got that sanded down. It's nice and level. We went ahead and filled that in with fiberglass instead of Dynaglass, so it'd be a more solid, secure fit. Now, sometimes you're going to run across these soft spots here, and what that's from, it's the material that didn't bond good with the. So what you got to do, you got to grind that out of there. Don't want to leave those wet spots in there like that. Like that, I don't know what. The only thing I think that it's caused from is not a thorough mix, but. Get our fiberglass all molded down where it's smooth. Blow it off. And now we're going to mix our Dynaglass that I explained to you earlier. So we get our Dynaglass, just like so. And this mixes with the same hardener that you use with Bondo. The same hardener. And you could try to be a little bit more neater than I was with that just now. So you give it some hardener. Get you a fairly used Bondo spreader. You want to mix that up thoroughly till it turns brown. And then you want to put it on just like you would Bondo. Now we're also going to fill in our stress crack area here. While we're filling this in, I'm going to go ahead and get that big area first, because that's got to be filled in. Fill in all my little cracks. And as I'm doing this, I'm kind of visualizing what it'll look like. So when I sand it down, I'll still have my body lips. And then we're going to fill all these in. As you can see, I'm just pushing on it and filling it. Push it in the corner and then lightly bring it up. See there, just very lightly. And then give it a little push and fill it up. What we'll do is we'll let that dry. I'm going to go ahead and use this extra right here. And I can already see that it's getting dry now. We'll let that dry and we'll come back with our air file and sand it down.
Good morning, Captain. Well, good morning to you. Do you need another mule skinner down on your new